Hello, everyone. We are starting a project about gray whales. We're going to create a book that's called All About Gray Whales. So, this is a piece of writing, and we'll write all different facts about gray whales. I picked them because a couple of reasons. I'm trying to find a spot where you can see me because the sun is really shining in brightly here. But I picked gray whales because they have the longest migration of any mammal. And we'll learn all about that. They migrate really, really super far through the ocean, and we'll learn why they migrate. Um, and we're also really going to practice our nonfiction writing in this book. That means we're writing facts about gray whales. So we'll learn about them and we will write facts about them. And we'll do this all together. Okay, so we'll go through this book page by page. We'll do one page a day and we'll all learn a whole lot about the gray whale. So to start out with, I have a video. I have two books about the gray whale that I'm really excited about. This one is called When Whales Cross the Sea, and this one is called Little Gray's Great Migration. And they're both really interesting books. And we'll read this one today, and we'll read the next one later on in the week. And we'll get to know some more about gray whales from those books. And to start out with, I have a video that I want us to watch. So let's watch the video first, and then we'll read a book. And then we'll do one book page today. So here we go with the video. These are super duper amazing animals. The gray whale is what those words say.
It is late spring on Kodiak Island, Alaska.
So that's up north.
The air and the water are growing warmer, and the locals have returned to feed. But even against this monumental landscape, all eyes are on the horizon for one of nature's most graceful giants, the gray whale. It is here that they begin and end the longest migration of any mammal, 12,000 miles from the icy waters of the Arctic to the warm lagoons of Baja, Mexico, and back again. Gray whales have a narrow, tapered head and a streamlined body. They surface only for a quick spout and breath before disappearing back into the ocean.
I guess we're pretty lucky if you get to see one.
Gray whales have baleen, which is like a thick comb made up of long, fine hairs. Diving to the muddy bottom, gray whales scoop up sediment from the ocean floor, filtering out water and mud and trapping plankton and krill. In the 17 and 1800s, whalers in search of oil, meat, and baleen hunted gray whales to near extinction. In 1946, an international treaty was signed to provide oversight and management of whale hunting. But it was under the protection of the Endangered Species Act in 1974, and NOAA's careful management since that the Eastern Pacific gray whale recovered to a sustainable population. Today, nearly 24,000 gray whales continue their annual migration along the coast of North America, giving humans a glimpse of these majestic creatures that live in the deep.
Okay, so that was our video. They're amazing. Why don't you pause me and think of two things, or you don't have to pause me, I guess, but think of two things from that video that you learned about the gray whale. Why don't you say those two things, and I'll get our book ready to go. Okay, ready for the book? Hopefully we'll learn some more. It's a little bit long, so you might want to get comfy. When whales cross the sea, the gray whale migration. It's hard for me. Sometimes I want to say gway because I'm saying whale next. So if I say gway, you know I really meant gray. Okay, here's the first page. I'll show the picture and then I'll read the words. Each year, gray whales make one of the longest migrations of any mammal in the world. They swim 5,000 to 7,000 miles from their summer home to warm winter waters. Swimming nearly 100 miles per day, they make the trip in 2 to 3 months. Why travel so far? Then we'll read this book. and find out. Bump, swish. The whale hits the edge of a large ice chunk. She's done that 3 times already this week. It is October in the Arctic, and patches of ice are growing larger. Days are getting shorter. Waters are getting colder. Feeding season is almost done. The whale knows it's time to start heading south to the warmer waters of Mexico. She has something very important to do there. The whale feeds for a few more days. She eats almost non-stop, about 1.2 tons of tiny shrimp-like animals each day. All that food weighs about as much as a small car. The whale weighs 40 tons herself, though. That's as much as 33 small cars. That's a lot of eating, huh? The whale leaves the Arctic and swims south along the coast. She has a full belly and a thick layer of blubber covering her body. The fat layer is just what she needs. It's like a coat and a restaurant in one. The blubber keeps the whale warm and gives her energy. And I want to show you something. I read that layer of blubber could be 10 inches thick, which is from here all the way over to here, which is where the number, so 10 inches thick. That's a lot of blubber. The whale swims with power through the ocean. She stays close to the shore where the water is shallower. Shallow water means less chance of meeting a hungry orca. She peeks her head above water. Landmarks on shore help her find her way. So I want you to really pay attention to this page because today we'll be working on habitat, but it says she stays in the shallow water, right? So these gray whales aren't out in the middle of the ocean in the deepest depths of the ocean, right? They stay closer to shore in the shallow water. During the journey, the whale slows down to rest, but never stops. She doesn't even eat. How is she getting her energy then if she's not eating? Yep, the blubber. She must get to her winter home on time. A warm coastal lagoon awaits her. There's no time to waste. Finally, after about 60 days, that's 2 months, like our calendar that we do each morning, it's 2 of those, 2 months. After about 60 days, the whale's journey ends. Just in time, too. She's having a baby, a healthy 1,000-pound baby whale. You know that human babies weigh about 6 to 10 pounds? So that's a lot more, huh? The baby whale must grow quickly. In a few months, he will join his mother for the long journey back north. He does not have a thick layer of blubber yet. The waters of the lagoon keep him warm while he is still small. And I read somewhere that when baby whales are nursing in this lagoon, they can gain up to 60 or 70 pounds a day. That's more than you weigh. And they're gaining that much blubber and mass every day. The lagoon is safe from orcas. That's one of their predators, is orcas and humans. The lagoon is safe from orcas, but it doesn't have a lot of food. To help him grow, the mother whale feeds her baby 50 gallons of milk every day. This is where I read it. He can gain up to 60 pounds each day. I already gave it away. At the same time, the mother whale loses a lot of blubber. She does not eat much and puts her energy into making milk. It's very good that she has that blubber, isn't it? But she's not eating much, so she's really losing all that blubber that she had stored. The mother whale helps her baby to swim. She shows him how to plow up the seafloor to look for food. He will need to do this when they reach their summer home in the Arctic. After 3 months, it's time to start the long, challenging trip north. There are many dangers on this journey, including orcas, they're predator, right? Large ships and polluted waters. Good luck on your journey, whales. Be safe and see you next year. Oh, amazing. So why do gray whales migrate south down to the lagoons in Mexico, to the warm lagoons? Why do they go there? To have their babies. Yeah, that's why they're going there. Fascinating, interesting, amazing animals. Today we're going to do the first page in our book. So you'll need to just flip to the first page, and they're stapled at the top. So what I do is I just like kind of flip it over the back, and I just do a little fold here. Now, this word at the top says habitat. It has these like kind of fancy A's, so they look a little bit different. Habitat. And we're going to write a fact and draw a picture. Okay? So what did we learn about where the gray whales live? What do you know about that? They live in the ocean. Can we be even more specific than just saying they live in the ocean? Do they live far out in the middle or in shallow coastal waters? Yeah. So they live in shallow waters along the coast, right? So gray whales live in shallow waters. We can say shallow coastal waters of the ocean. How about that? Gray whales live in shallow coastal waters of the ocean. There, we have it in a sentence. So let's write that together. I want to share with you, and we'll get started on that. Let me get my camera up so you can see. There we go. And we'll use a pencil to start out with. And we'll start with writing, let's see, this book is all about gray whales. We know every page is about gray whales. So you can either write gray whales here, or we can write they. So I like sometimes to write they. It gives us a little bit less words. We're going to be writing a lot of words here. They, T-H-E-Y, spells they. They. And if you need to pause at any time, pause, okay? They. We'll do a space. Live, L-I-V-E. Any of you practicing Magic E? This totally isn't part of the rule because that would be live. Sometimes we say live, and you just have to know in the sentence. They live in, I bet you can all spell in. They live in what kind of waters? Deep or shallow? Shallow. Shh. What does that start with? Shh. Yeah. S-H. They live in S-H-A-L-L-O-W. They live in shallow. And we'll write coastal waters. That means along the coast, like closer to land than like out in the middle of the ocean. It's a good adjective, a good describing word. They live in shallow coastal. They live in shallow coastal waters of the ocean. Okay, and I'll show you in the book, there's a map. They live in shallow coastal waters of the ocean. Okay, now I just want to show you where those areas are in this book. So, you can see this is their migration journey, but this is where they are up in the summer up here. And then this is where they come down here to these lagoons, means kind of like a inlet sea, kind of close to land that's warm down here is where they live when it's cold up here. This is where they live in the summer when it's warmer. And then in the winter when it's cold up here, They come and live down here. Okay, so they live in shallow coastal waters of the ocean. And this is the Pacific Ocean, by the way. And oh, by the way, I want to show you, this is like where we live, like right in here. And so they'd come, if you were out at our beach, they'd come swimming by our beach, so you might get to see them sometime. The other thing I wanted to tell you is you can write along with me and write this fact, but if you want to write a different fact about their habitat, you can certainly do a different fact. It doesn't have to be the same as me. Okay. And now what I want to do is draw a picture. So I'm going to draw, because it's the shallow coastal waters, I'm going to kind of draw, pretend like this is land over here. Maybe I'll draw some rocks, maybe some, like a seagrass. You know how sometimes there's like seagrass? Maybe another rock or two by the grass. And then this is like kind of sandy. I might draw some little rocks in here. And then here's some waves coming into shore. Your picture can look like mine if you want, but your picture can look any way that you want. Okay, it does not have to be like my picture. I'm going to open up my book like this because I want to outline, for this is a really fancy book. We're doing like a really fancy book about the gray whale. And I want to outline my picture with a Sharpie before I do my coloring. That just makes my picture kind of pop a little bit and makes things stand out. You can draw your picture however you like. What is important to me is that your picture matches these words. So the illustration will help folks also learn about the whale. So in this one, it says they live in shallow coastal waters of the ocean. Okay, so somehow showing that it's near the coast would be an important element to add to your picture, and that it's the ocean. So I added these waves to kind of show these were the ocean waves. Okay, so you can draw your picture, outline it with a black marker, and then do some coloring. And I won't have you watch me do the coloring part. You can color yours however you like. I'll probably color my grass green, my rocks in kind of grayish or brown, my land maybe like a sandy colored, and then my ocean blue. But I'll let you do that part on your own. Okay, everyone, thanks for starting this learning about the gray whale with me. It'll be a really fun unit and we'll get to become experts on gray whales. See you later.